I've always been very privileged to work with a lot of persons. I've always been in that space where I get to deal with a lot of persons. And one thing I found very, very common among people, and which has actually affected how they deliver their product, or how they deliver their ability or value, is something very, very, it's something very, very common, something very, very that we hear every day, but oftentimes trivialized. So people don't pay attention to it because they feel, oh, I don't fall in that class, or I don't have an issue with that. So basically, what am I talking about? Something very interesting. I'm talking about self-esteem. Now, what's self-esteem? Self-esteem, as simple as it is, it can be defined as an overall sense of worth, an overall sense of confidence or respect that someone has for themselves. Now, the thing is, how you see yourself, how you rate yourself, or how you would present yourself. It's all bounded. It's all within the confines, the boundaries of how you perceive yourself. So basically, self-esteem actually influences a person's ability in how they, just like I said, how to deliver their values. Now, I'll give a story. There was this lady I met one time. I just met her somewhere in a social gathering, and we got talking. Because somehow I have this natural gift. It's not like a tied to something. I have a natural gift of picking people who are shy in the public space. So I noticed that she was like so what's the word now? She was just separating herself and just staying in one corner when everybody's just having fun and socializing. So I walked up to her. I was like, "Hello, hi, how you doing? Hope you're enjoying your time here." It was a Christian social gathering where you come and meet new people and make new friends. She wasn't actually talking to anybody. So I was like, "How you doing?" So we got talking. Long story short, we got talking and we talked extensively, and I realized that she's well read, she's versatile, but she still struggled with seeing herself in that light of being somebody of high value. So in this place, it wasn't a matter of she didn't have the knowledge or wisdom, but she didn't see herself worthy enough, or she didn't see herself valuable enough to even socialize with people, or to even stand in the faces of people. So, and I was like, what's this? So we got talking. So I thought, oh, I think so. So I had to discuss with her on this whole topic I'm talking about now, how to develop self her self-esteem in that case. So now, self-esteem is a very common word, but oftentimes people don't know how common this word is actually trivialized. So basically, we have various forms of self-esteem. We have I've been able to group it in a very simple way. One, we have a healthy and unhealthy self-esteem. So basically, a healthy self-esteem is when you have a healthy image of yourself. You have, yes, your self-worth is intact. You believe in yourself and what have you. But on the other angle, which I want to actually talk about this evening, is the unhealthy self-esteem, which can be divided into, which have various forms. But I will just be talking about just two. We have the inflated self-esteem and have the low self-esteem. So basically, unhealthy self-esteem can present itself broadly as an inflated self-esteem or an exaggerated self-esteem, or we have the low self-esteem. Now, I'm going to hammer on the low self-esteem because that is where many of us are actually messing the whole thing up. So you see, you meet someone with great potentials, but you guys get talking, you get into a relationship, and you see that because of the distorted sense of or self-image you have of yourself from previous relationships, you begin to project it into your current relationship, which is very bad. So oftentimes you see that most issues that arise in relationship, they stem from a place of previous hurts, and now which has affected their self-image, and they now begin to project it. So oftentimes when people have issues in relationship, when you actually narrow it down and trace the root of that matter, you see that actually the person who is actually like the originator of this issue is actually battling with a very low self-esteem, very unhealthy self-esteem. I remember I had to tell a friend one time that I think you should um pick up books, read books that will help build your self-esteem, and um as begin to look out for activities that will help you improve your self-esteem, because you have a distorted self-esteem. That's because, and when I said that, I didn't say that out of a place of being harsh. No, this is someone very, 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 very close to me, and I have to say, because out of kindness and out of love, because I saw great potential in her, and I just needed her to channel it appropriately. So you see people with low self-esteem or a distorted self-esteem, they hurt other persons. That's they are healing from previous hurt, and then they now begin to hurt somebody else. So do you understand what I'm saying? So okay, so now, how do we identify someone with a healthy self-esteem? I've been able to outline some various forms to identify someone with a healthy self-esteem. So if you don't find yourself in this list, it means you are um, exhibiting a low self-esteem or the unhealthy self-esteem. And I forgot to talk about the inflated self-esteem. It's simple. The inflated self-esteem is basically over exaggeration of your abilities. You believe you are alpha, omega, yeah, over it. And if you're not careful, it leads to arrogance. It leads to pride, it brings you to pride. So that's just basically, and that's where I'm going to leave it. For the low self-esteem, you belittle yourself, you bring yourself down, and you have a very poor self-image of yourself, and this actually affects how you present yourself and the value you offer. So in this season of love, it's important that you actually see, do I have a healthy self-esteem? Do I have an unhealthy self-esteem? As as this can affect your chances of making progress in relationship if you find yourself in the negative side of it. So basically, I'll be calling it 5 facts of a healthy self-esteem. One of them, the very most important one, is self-acceptance. Now, you see that people who have a very healthy self-esteem, they have no doubt about themselves. They believe in themselves. They know what they can do, they know what they should do, and they have a very healthy image of themselves. Now, they are not proud, they are not arrogant. On the other hand, they are not timid. I don't know if you understand. So they have a very healthy image of themselves, and they accept their abilities, both their strength and their weaknesses. So when it comes to their weakness, when they understand their weakness so much that they don't dwell on it, instead they seek ways to improve on those weaknesses, and for their strength or for their areas of strength, they actually build and maximize it. Do you understand? So it's actually important that you look very closely. Do I accept my strength and my weakness? Now, the important thing about strength and weakness, especially weakness, is that everyone has their level of weakness and everyone have their level of strength. It's important that you identify them very early on, and you now begin to set the pace of each of them. So if you have a particular weakness, you begin to study or begin to read in order to improve them, and not just dwelling on them out and just over exaggerating them. Some persons, okay, their weakness is they easily get angry, so because of it, they shy away from making friends. They shy away from building contacts. They shy away from building connections. They shy away from human connections because they feel, okay, I don't want to be friends with this person. This person will do it, will best me one day. I don't want that. You get. So instead of seeing that as a weakness that will now jeopardize your relationship with people, why not begin to read books that will help you work on being less angry and how to control your anger. So number two of identify someone with a very healthy self-esteem is they are resilient to criticism. Oh my God, this is very true. This is very true. For persons who have a very healthy self-esteem, they take critics very very well. Now, there's an example coming to my head, but just for the sake of time, I won't talk about it. Now, for persons who have very healthy self-esteem, be it a constructive or a negative criticism, they take it and they put it into right use. So I remember one time, let me know you share that story. It's a very funny story. I have a lot of story concerning this particular topic, particular matter. Just know that anyone with a healthy self-esteem, you must be resilient to criticisms. You must be able to take both the negative and the positive criticisms, and you must be able to channel them appropriately. For the positives, you begin to you take them and amplify them. For the negative, you take them and begin to walk through them. That's just basically. So for the third one, another way of identifying someone with a very healthy self-esteem is that they build healthy relationships. Yes. Now, one way to identify someone with a very healthy self-esteem is that they have very good rapport with people. I'm telling you, the rapport they know a lot of persons. They are very friendly, but they have very few friends. That's the point to note here. I have a friend is coming to my mind right now. I have a friend that she does this a lot, and that was how I was able to see that. I was able to understand that she has a very healthy self-esteem. She believes in her ability, and in fact she's so good. But the point here is that persons who have a healthy self-esteem, they build very quality and healthy relationships. They are good in keeping relationships and working. So they don't shy away from good human connections, just like I said. So number four way of identifying someone with a very healthy self-esteem is they are very confident. Now, I think someone one time told me that when you're done dressing up, when you're done putting on your makeup, your perfume, and you're about to step out of the house, the next apparel you should put on is a very beautiful smile and your confidence. Now, confidence is like a perfume. People perceive it. If you're shy, it's someone can perceive it from your mouth. Yes, someone can see you, and just by you, the first movement, or by the first action, or by your first few words, they know that you lack confidence. Now, people with healthy self-esteem, they are very confident. So when you're pursuing that relationship, yeah, there's this guy in the church you like, or there's this lady in the church you like, or there's this guy in your workplace, or this lady in your workplace that you love, and you think there's something um possible that can come out of it. One thing you should wear like a cloak is your confidence, self-confidence. Now, I've always said to myself that what's the worst that can happen? No. I make a request and you tell me no. That's you don't go past like that. You don't go kill me. Do you understand? I know building self-confidence is not really an easy thing. It's not really easy, but you can actually build your confidence level. So another point to note about people with healthy self-esteem is they have a very positive self-image. I earlier said that their self-image, the way they see themselves is they don't have a distorted self-esteem at all. They see themselves in a very good light. I think I've overflogged that. And lastly, another way in which to identify people with very healthy self-esteem is that they are independent. They are largely independent, but that doesn't mean that they don't want to be dependent. Now, there's a contrast and a caveat here. Oftentimes, people with a very healthy self-esteem, they are perceived as being proud, and if you're not careful, or you lack basic knowledge of human intelligence, you will think that these persons, they are proud. No, they are not, but they've mastered themselves to the point that they know how to be independent. They know how to live the life of independence. So they function from a very high level of independence. But notwithstanding, when the opportunity presents themselves, they would want to be dependent. And they can't just be dependent on anyone. You must prove yourself worthy. Do you understand? Now, basically, I have a very it used to be like where I used to work one time when school was on one meeting break like that. We had this guy, I do work with him. I noticed that he doesn't like anybody helping him to, like, you understand, like to cover or do something, like to cover up when he's not really really like around, and he doesn't like people getting the job done. Probably he stepped out and they're waiting for him to come back. So later I noticed that there is somebody he actually allows to do that job, and that person he allows to do that thing instead does the job even more better than him. So you see, often the people with a very healthy self-esteem, they are independent too, but the probability of them being dependent on you has to be from a place where you've proven yourself worthy. I don't know if you get. Yes, I know you get, because of course it's simple for you to understand that. So people who have very healthy self-esteem, they're independent, and they're largely dependent when the opportunity presents itself. So basically, in this season of love, do you have, or are you struggling with a negative self-image, and do you think you don't fall into any of those classes of people with a healthy self-esteem? It's possible to develop them. If the need be, or if you want me to, you can just drop it in my comment section for me to highlight ways or how to develop one's self-esteem. I could drop that. That will be based on demand and not just making a video out of that. So it's important for you to build your own personal self-esteem. It's important because it actually controls the narrative people have about you. Because there's something about an image of you. When people see you, the first thing, the first thought that comes to their mind about you has to be an impression you've made in the past. And if you've made a terrible impression because maybe at a point you're suffering or dealing with a negative self-image of yourself, then that's a problem. So I hope this video was very, very insightful. Yes, I ran out of time is fasting. Do well to like, subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and please share this video to your friends, even as I'm trusting God for the best news and the best outcome for you in this season. Lots of love.